Good day, traders. It's Letum Temu speaking, the founder and mentor at BlueMillionForex. Now, as you've seen by the title of this video, we are going to speak in how you can trade NASDAQ profitably. It doesn't matter if you're an advanced trader, beginner trader, or a trader who's seeking to find out new skills. Now, in this video, I want to speak about three very key components. Now, the first one is introduction to NASDAQ. To better understand NASDAQ, we first need to know what is NASDAQ. Now, the second part of the video is the key companies in NASDAQ. Now, we're going to learn about the companies that are listed on the NASDAQ100 stock exchange. And then thirdly is the most important one, how to analyze NASDAQ and how to trade NASDAQ. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so to start off the video, I'm just gonna give a background story on the definition or the basis on what NASDAQ is. So the NASDAQ 100, it's a stock index comprising of 100 companies, well actually 101 of the largest non-financial companies listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange, like I said in the beginning. Now, these companies span from various sectors, including technology, consumer services, healthcare, and more. Now, what sets NASDAQ 100 apart is its heavy focus on technology giants, making it a hub for innovative and high-growth companies. Now, as you guys know, tech companies are the companies or one of the biggest companies that make the most money, and NASDAQ really composes of those big tech giants. So trading the NASDAQ, trading the NASDAQ 100 is pivotal due to its representation of tech-heavy segment of the market. Now, as you all know, technology continues to drive global economies. You're watching this video maybe on a phone or on a computer or a laptop, which is built by a company which is most likely included in NASDAQ 100 companies, but we'll get into that a bit more later. Now, understanding and profiting from the index movements is a valuable skill, the one that I'm going to be talking about today. Now, whether you are a trader who trades the NASDAQ 100, this offers you an exposure to a dynamic range of companies that can greatly impact your trading account, right? So that's just a brief introduction of what NASDAQ 100 is. Now, we want to jump on to the second part of our video. The key companies in NASDAQ 100 are the companies that are listed in the NASDAQ stock exchange. Now, these companies range from companies like Amazon, from Apple, Microsoft, you name it, it's there. Now, I've pulled up a chart where you can find these companies. I'll just put the link in the description. Now, these are the top NASDAQ 100 companies, which are listed by weight. Now, as you can see, at number 1, we have Apple, Microsoft, and number 2, Amazon. It goes on. Like I said, it's 101 companies. I don't know if you can see at the end. Yes, Lucid Group Inc. Now, these companies are quite necessarily important because this is really what drives the NASDAQ 100. Now, this is the core or the engine of what NASDAQ 100 is. Now, let me show you what I mean by that. Now, when I pull up my trading terminal, and as you can see, this is NASDAQ 100. Now, I'm going to show you the company which is listed at number 1, which is Apple. I'm just going to pull up a chart on Apple, and I'm going to show you what it means. Now, Apple is a stock which is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, the New York Stock Exchange, as you guys may know, if you're in South Africa, as of right now, 2023, on August, the stock exchange opens at 3:30, right? So at 3:30, whatever happens in the market will be depicted on the NASDAQ 100. Now, I want you guys to focus on this. So I'll just quickly draw a trend line, right? So I'll quickly draw a trend line. I don't know why it's not visible. I'll just change the color. Let's make it red. Now, as you can see, the NASDAQ, the Apple stock was in a downward movement, or is still in a downward movement because it's still a Friday and the stock, the New York Stock Exchange hasn't closed it. But if you can see, I'll just show you with the line chart. As you can see, the chart has been going down. Now, if you notice this, right, and you can see that Apple is moving down, right, this surely will be depicted on the NASDAQ stock exchange, as you guys can see. Now, I'll just jump back again just to show you the time. Now, the time was 3:30. I don't know if you can see it right there at the bottom, right? I'm just going to add a line just to make it much more clearer to the eye. Now, this is where we're going to start focusing on, right? As you can see, this vertical line. Now, as you can see, the time was 3:30. From that time going onward, the market has been on a downtrend. Now, if I jump back to NASDAQ 100, at 3:30 again, right? At 3:30, where's 3:30? There's 3:30. Just at 3:30, it's doing exactly what Apple has been doing, right? I'll just zoom in for you to see. Let me open a candlestick. Yes. But if you can see you can see that NASDAQ has been also in a downward movement since the New York Stock Exchange opened, right? So I'm just going to add this line and another one again, right? And another one just right here. So as you can see, it has been going the same direction. Now, you can look at the chart whenever you want to look at it, but usually what Apple will do, NASDAQ will follow, right? You can look at other times when it has done the same thing. Now, this comes from understanding that Apple is the leading company in NASDAQ. Now, if you follow this, you'll see that time and time again, I don't remember when, but when I had an online session with one of the guys, Microsoft was at number 1 and NASDAQ was following Microsoft. But that's just explaining or the core concepts of what NASDAQ is. But we'll get into understanding how can we analyze and trade NASDAQ profitably. Okay, now we are on the part on how to analyze and trade NASDAQ 100. Now, there are a couple of key factors to consider whenever you are going to be analyzing NASDAQ. Now, the first one is the fundamental analysis. Now, this involves evaluating the underlying factors that can influence the NASDAQ 100's performance, such as company earnings, microeconomic trends, and industry outlooks. Now, the first one you should always pay attention to is company earnings reports. Now, if you keep track of the quarterly earnings or reports of these companies in the NASDAQ 100, if there is positive earnings, you can expect it to rise in value, because that's just what it means. If more companies are releasing positive earnings, right? If the companies that are listed on the NASDAQ 100 are releasing positive earnings, you can expect the NASDAQ 100 to rise in price. Now, other things to look at is economic indicators. Now, pay attention to economic indicators like the gross domestic product or the GDP growth, unemployment rates like the NFP, and consumer confidence, which is the CPI. Now, these can impact overall market sentiment of the NASDAQ 100 performance. Now, this is just the fundamental aspects of everything. Now, going to the technical side. Now, this will involve you studying the charts. Now, this is the part where I want you to focus on. Now, the things you're going to be focusing on are key support and resistance lines, pivot points, and candlestick patterns. Now, for every trader, it's different for everyone. Now, for me, I have 3 time frames. Now, I have the 15 minutes, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour. Now, with these charts, I know what to do there. So, for instance, when I click the 4 hour, this is what I use to see what the trend is. Now, as you can see, the trend is a downtrend. Now, whichever trade I'm looking to take on NASDAQ from now onwards will be a sell trade, because that's when the market will be pushing downwards. Now, I don't know if you guys can see, but let me just zoom in for you, right? If you look at this, right? If you look at this, the market has been, look at these down candles compared to these ranging candles. Look at these downward candles. Look at these downward candles. As you can see, since this is in a downtrend, you can expect it to push much more down than it pushes up. You understand? Now, if you look closely, the market has been making lower lows and lower highs. Now, that is what you're looking at as a downtrend. Now, that's the first part that you're going to be using whenever you are analyzing NASDAQ, to see what the trend is. Now, as you can see, the trend is a downward trend. Now, secondly, I want you to plot your support and resistance line. Now, these lines will help you to dictate, to see where the market has been bouncing off of, or what prices, or where are traders looking to enter or exit their trades. Now, let me just change the color of this and make it let me make this green, and I'll make the other one where is it? I'll make this one red. Right? I'll just make it red. Now, this is what you see, right? Now, the reason why I plotted these support and resistance lines, they sometimes are self-prophesy. They self I don't know how to put this, but they tend to work out, because if you look at them, right, if a lot of traders are believing that the prices will bounce back between these 2 points, more or less likely people will be selling at this point and buying at this point. Now they are self-fulfilling, exactly, right? They will become true because a lot of people will be entering their orders there and buying their orders there. But that's just the basics of understanding the support and resistance. Now, something else that you can look at is candlestick patterns. Now, if you look at candlestick patterns, they mean a lot. Now, for instance, if I zoom in here, right? I zoom in here, right? If you look closely, you can see that the price pushed below this point, right? But it didn't close below this first support line. Now, that for you should signal something, right? The following candle did the same thing. It pushed below, the bears were in control, but it closed as a bullish candle, showing that even though they pushed the market up, it still resulted in the prices going up. Now, you can add your own indicators for further proof. For instance, you can add a moving average convergence divergence, an MACD, to see when the buyers or the sellers are losing momentum. Now, this is just for analyzing the trend. Now, the 1 hour will show you what the trend is currently, right? In the excuse me for that. Yeah. Okay, I just had a bit of an issue, but now it's fixed. So if you look closely on these trend lines, you can now better see what the market has been doing, right? Since we looked at the 4 hour and we've seen that it is a downtrend. Now, if you look closely, we are now at the 1 hour. Now, the 1 hour will show you the current trend, right? Because the 4 hour is usually comprised of like usually weeks, right? So if you look at it, a couple of candles mean a week. You understand? So if you look at this chart, right, this will show you what it has been doing throughout the days, right? Just in a shorter time frame than the 4 hour. Now, if you look closely, right, what we're seeing on the 4 hour, this level right here, right, you can see the same thing. Now, if I zoom closely, there is a candlestick pattern right here, right? There is a candlestick pattern. Now, if you look at it like this, you won't see nothing, but I'll show you something. Now, if I look at the line chart, you can see we have a W format chart. We have a W pattern, excuse me. Now, this, for instance, should signal to you as a trader something that you should see with, okay, now, if I see this, I need to buy. Now, if you look closely, this was diverging, exactly. So it was making a higher high, signaling that even though the bears pushed below the line, the bulls are starting to gain back control and they're pushing the market up. Now, this could have been an entry for you for your buy signal, right? This could have been an entry for your buy signal, and you could have grabbed all these perps and put your stop loss just at this point. And understand, let me show you, for example, put in a long trade. This could have been your entry just right here, right? Your trade just right here, and your stop loss just at this level. You understand? Now, this could have been your trade. You understand? So that's just the chart pattern. Now, for entries, right, I use the M15, right? Because it gives me a much more clearer direction. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but it gives me a much more clearer direction that I want to see. Now, this is the same thing, but on the M15. Now, as you can see, the market did the same thing. We also had a W formation here, but it just took a couple of minutes to build. Now, as you can see that I'm scaling down from time frame to time frame to see exactly what I should expect. Now, the important times that you should pay attention on NASDAQ is usually at 3:30, right? This is where you should pay attention, because that's when the market will open. And if you look closely at 3:30, let me show you just at 3:30. Where's 3:30? I'm just gonna zoom in the chart and show you something, right? At 3:30, this is when you get like sort of like an initial spike, just to say, but you get a direction that is very impulsive. You can see that NASDAQ is moving very volatilely, right? That's one of the things. Now, another thing that you should focus on whenever trading NASDAQ or analyzing NASDAQ is looking at market sentiments, right? Understanding what the market sentiment can provide you valuable insight into NASDAQ 100, right? For its future movements. Now, things like news and events, right? You need to stay updated on the news. Watch Bloomberg, you understand? And events that might impact the market, such as regulatory changes, geopolitical developments, and microeconomic announcements. Now, you can find these on websites like Bloomberg, or for the students who are in the BlueMillionForex group, they know that there's the Bloomberg app. You can use that to stay updated. Another thing is also data analyze and tools. Now, historical data, you need to analyze price, right? What we did on the 4-hour just right here, this is what you call analyzing price, right? This analyzing historical data to predict its future movements. That's one of the things that you should always focus on whenever you are trading NASDAQ. Now, guys, risk management. I spoke about risk management. I'm still going to make a video about risk management. Learn how to determine the position sizing for your trading account, right? Learn how to do that. I'll show you just right now on the screen. App called Forex Calculators. Now, this app just makes it easy for you to know how much money you're risking before entering to the market. So, for example, we want to click on the first one called position sizing. If your account currency is ZAR, which is the Zuid-Afrikaanse rand, or the USD, United States dollar, whatever your account is. Now, here we want to be typing here at the top NASDAQ 100. Now, after typing NASDAQ 100, you will see that you put in your account balance. Let's say, for instance, you have 1,000 rand. Now, you're willing to risk an amount of 300 pips. Now, it's not 30 pips, because as you can see, NASDAQ is based off of 15,000, not just 1.111. It's 15,000. So if you want to risk 1% and then you click on calculate, it will tell you that to risk 1%, you'll need to put in a standard lot size of 0.18. The amount to risk is 10 rand. Just like that, depending on your leverage and your trading account. Now, that is how you can calculate your position sizing and trading NASDAQ 100. Now, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something, and comment down below if anything was unclear, or send me a message on the BlueMillionForex Instagram page, or to the direct WhatsApp. It's been Letung Temu speaking, the founder and mentor at BlueMillionForex. See you guys on the other side.